Buenos dias. William Cabrera, Lincoln Commercial Group, preserving capital and increasing wealth through the ownership and exchange of income-producing properties. I'm here with my really good friend, Jeff Brown. We met 24 years ago out in Gainesville. College roommates. We were both out on the balcony one day, facing each other's balconies, and we just started talking. And from there, one thing led to the next. We ended up rooming in together a couple months after that and been friends ever since. Jeff, happy to have you.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, man. Thank you very much for being here.
So, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. So let's tell the people what you do.
I'm in a very specialized industry that I kind of fell into over the years. I come from a traditional automotive background, car dealership background. Family's been in the business since 1949. Traditionally, I grew up in it. After college, I kind of naturally fell into the family business. I'm the only boy in the family, so it was kind of in my bloodlines to go ahead and stay within it. I never really liked the regular car business. I never did. I hated buying and selling cars. I really never liked it.
What'd you hate about it?
I just didn't, it wasn't that exciting for me. I was never excited about the reputation that surrounds the business.
The sleazy car salesman
Yeah,
reputation?
it was never me, and I never upheld that reputation myself, because all my people were always customers for life. Anybody I ever dealt with was always a customer for life. And I actually sold my first car when I was 12 years old. And it's actually, I'm going to spin off for a sec because it's a good story. I kind of got hooked on sales because I sold my first car when I was 12 to an old man who had 21 kids.
Then clearly no TVs at home.
21 kids, exactly. So I ended up selling him over the years like 15 cars. Right, we became friends, and What
happened to the other 6 kids? They didn't get cars?
You mean 21?
You said 15,
oh yeah, exactly.
15 cars. What about the other 6 kids?
So anyway, so I kind of got hooked on the selling aspect, but not with everything that goes with it. The mantra that everybody has for a car salesman, right? Anyway, I always liked odd cars, classic cars, race cars. I always liked that part of it. So I would always, buy, some cool cars on the side, old cars, classic cars that I would fool around with.
Like that teal blue Blazer I met you in?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I always had that kind of love for it because that was fun to me. Like, I was buying stuff that I wanted to buy and selling stuff that I wanted to sell to people that I wanted to sell it to, versus me trying to sell a product that I didn't really like in the first place to somebody that maybe I don't really want to deal with in the first place either. Well, because,
It goes hand in hand with what I do, man. I can't sell anything I don't believe in. I can't really sell anything that I wouldn't buy myself.
100%. So dealing in odd cars, specialty cars, classic cars, I would sell a lot of conversion vans. Always did. I always was in the conversion van market, which was like high top vans with TVs and leather and beds.
I remember
cool stuff,
vans.
disco vans from the 80s, stuff like that. Right? That's what I was into. And not personally, but it was cool to sell that stuff anyway, because I liked the client base, easy to deal with. And there wasn't a lot of repercussions with selling something like that versus selling a Camry, that could break down in 6 months and then the customer's mad at me for something I have nothing to do with.
Sure,
so,
that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So started in with conversion vans, and then I started dabbling in handicap vans probably about 14, 15 years ago. And started buying and selling a couple of those, and then I just got hooked on that because I could see the impact, plus I could see the niche market that there was for that, and that there was a massive opportunity for someone to come in and take advantage of that niche.
What do you mean by you can see the impact? Like the impact you're making in people's lives?
Yes, exactly. And I first had that experience where I had a young lady that we sold a handicap van to, a full-size conversion van, and she was in an accident. She was paralyzed, and the family had been saving up for, I think it was a year or 2 years, so that they could buy a vehicle where she could get around it, because she was stuck in the house. The only transportation for her was with the county or any volunteer organizations that would pick her up, which is pretty much everybody's issue.
Sure.
with that has a disability, right?
Mobility.
Right, exactly. So anyway, she came, and they had a really beat up SUV, for example, and she came, and when they brought her, and it was a pain for her parents were a little elderly, so they had a hard time just lifting her out of the vehicle, and then to put her in her wheelchair, just moving her around was a big project. So if there's rain, heat, whatever, it's a massive issue. Anyway, she gets in her new van, and right away her smile was ear to ear.
That's fantastic.
And that moment was when I decided that I wanted to really go full on with this. And that's what I did. So ever since then, I predominantly have been dealing in mobility vehicles, handicap vans, wheelchair vans, pickup trucks, anything specialty when it comes to disabled wheelchair accessible vehicles.
So essentially, it was all a very natural, fluid progression for you. You were born basically in the used car business.
Yes.
Right? You realized doesn't really make you happy. It's not really satisfactory to you. But then you start getting into classic cars, sports cars, more
Yes.
specialty vehicles,
Yes.
and you got a taste for that.
Yeah.
Then you get into the conversion vans, the limo vans,
Yep.
that cool stuff. You start realizing specialization is quite important, right? And then you start getting into mobility, right? And
Yep.
handicap vans, and here we are. This is not what you specialize in.
This is exactly what I specialize in, and I like to say that we're probably one of the best in the United States right now. Right now, we are one of the best in the United States because of our certifications and accreditations that we have. There's not a lot of companies that have them.
Are you able to tell everybody what the name of your company is?
Yeah, we're Supreme Motors and Mobility, and we specialize in anything handicap or wheelchair accessible when it comes to a vehicle. I mean, we've done pickup trucks, motorcycles, you name it, we've done it. We do hand controls, joystick controls. Our techs have specialized certifications that maybe 10 or 15 have in the whole United States. So
That's excellent.
right.
So Supreme Motors.
Caravan,
Supreme Motors
and
Mobility.
Mobility, yes. We're in Boca Raton, Florida.
What's the website?
SupremeMotorsUSA.com. You can find us there. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we're everywhere. But that's what we do.
You can ship anywhere in the country?
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the
Ship
world.
Anywhere in the world.
Excuse me, fancy.
And yeah. And the difference with, so I found a severe gap in this market. Okay.
This market, meaning Southeast Florida? Or
The whole market in general, because
Okay.
as with any business now, everything has gone to private equity. So my competitor is a private equity firm that has 100 stores. So they cannot provide the personal service that I can to my customers.
the greater level of attention.
Right. And they have massive restrictions on what they allow their employees to do, service-wise. Just plain customer service. And in my industry, people are going through a lot.
Sure.
I mean, I deal with every type of medical condition, mental health issues, paralyzed vets. I mean, we deal with the VA. Anyway, any type of hardship is what we deal with. Money problems, all of it. Anything and all of that. So you have to have a little bit of compassion with everyone that you deal
More
with.
like a lot of bit of compassion, right?
So that's where the fulfillment comes in for me, because I am, really filling a need for somebody and really genuinely helping them.
And providing a superior service.
Right, exactly. And my competitors don't allow their employees to do that. So I've already been approached by my competitor that they already want to take me to court because I have been blowing them away. And
Of course they do.
naturally, that's a big compliment. So
I agree 100%.
right. So yep, their rep approached me face to face at a trade show a few weeks ago and told me he wanted to take me to court, which I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. That's just their problem for not satisfying the customers in the way that we do.
That seems to be a problem in general in all industries throughout, I mean, I guess the country. Customer service is,
Gone.
yeah, basically.
And people want that. People want customer service. Also, the difference between what I do and what anybody else does in the country, not a lot of people do what I do. I fly and deal with people all over the world. So I could be here today. I could be in the middle of Kansas tomorrow helping a family with their needs upon getting a vehicle or getting rid of their vehicle. So I deal with a lot of mortality too. There's a lot of people that come and go in my business. They pass on, and families are also left with the burden of getting rid of all the stuff at the end of the day. So we also help them do that too.
Awesome.
We also help them do that too, which is a big deal. Especially, we deal with a lot of kids, and it's
Gotta be extra
brutal
tough,
sometimes. So I've sat on a porch in Alabama in the middle of nowhere with a family for hours just talking, just because they wanted someone to talk to, because they felt lonely. My competitors aren't going to do that.
Sure, it's that consultative approach that helps you build relationships.
100%. And that's what puts me ahead of everyone else. I will drop everything. I will sit with somebody for 2-3 hours just because they need someone to talk to.
I've asked you a few times about why you haven't hired more employees. Is this the reason? Because you kind of feel you're going to have to kind of detach yourself a little bit from that.
Well, I
from
have
that direct
now.
approach?
We're up to 8. So
Okay,
yeah.
Including your techs.
Including my techs, yes. But we also have our partners with the manufacturers of all of our products.
Who are you
So we
partnered
work
with?
really close. I mean, we're partnered with, right now, probably 30 different companies. So,
What are the top 5?
well, we're Brownability. We do ATC, Mobility Innovations, MPS, Featherlight, Sure Grip hand controls, Q-Straint. The list goes on and on and on. So any companies that provide any adaptive controls, tie downs, seating options, flooring options, commercial vans, commercial lifts, we do it all. So pretty much any company we are set up with. There are a few that we're not set up with because some have agreements with each other that I can't. If I deal with one, I can't deal with the other. So
Fantastic. So once you started specializing
Right.
in this industry is when it all just kind of started snowballing, right?
right, and that's the point.
Specialization is the point.
Is the point. So I know I was a little long-winded in explaining all of it, but there's a lot to explain, but it all comes back to that point. What you really need to do if you're going to do anything is pick a door, run through it, and that's it. Run down that hallway.
Make the decision and stay focused, stay determined.
Go down that hallway. Don't try to go in all the other doors that you see. Keep going down the hallway till you get to the end.
100%.
Pick one thing, be the best at it.
I agree. That sets you apart.
100%.
It definitely sets you apart.
Look at your competition, right? Your competition will give you everything you need to be better. So I look at my competition, I see everything they're doing wrong. It's easy. Just change what they're doing wrong and make it better.
Make it better.
And that's it.
Yeah, there's innovators and
It's
there's
okay
imitators.
to cheat off your competition.
100%.
You don't have to do exactly what they do, but you can cheat off of them by taking some of their ideas that work, making them a little bit better, and then taking everything that people have gripes about and fixing that. And you will beat them, no matter how big they are. My competition is private equity, so they're a big investment company. So all they care about is the bottom line. There's no personal service. My company is personal. We're personal. We deal with you on a level.
I love hearing you say that, man, because it's, people throw out the term, it's business, it's not personal. It's very personal.
It's personal.
It's very personal.
In my business, it's personal.
In my business,
because
it's personal too.
My husband is paralyzed from the waist down, or my daughter has a rare 1 in 50 million disease that has no name. I deal with clients that have children that have diseases with no name.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, the unnamed conditions.
When people say that it's business, it's not personal, I feel that's just a cop-out for them to be doing something slimy that they shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
Something unethical.
100%.
It's just a cop-out, and then that's what helps them feel better about it.
100%.
It's business, not personal. It's definitely personal.
It's definitely personal.
This is my personal business.
Of course.
How is it not personal?
Yeah.
Same thing for you.
I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. You do have to draw the line somewhere in some places. But it's in my field, it's a little harder.
Sure.
I mean, we're involved. I'm involved with mom and dad and, sister and uncle and this one and that one.
Yeah, abuelos, right? Abuelos, abuelas.
Abuelos, everybody. So, and it's a big financial decision that they need to make when they need to get an adapted vehicle. They're not cheap. We don't have a ton of control over that because all the manufacturing companies are private equity. So they're, basically determining the prices of everything. We can deliver the products, we can deliver the services. So that's what we do. But when it comes to pricing, there's only so much we can do.
Sure.
We help them as much as we can, and we deal with any organizations that we can, but,
All right, so let's transition a little bit, man. Do you own any real estate?
Sure.
What do you have?
I have commercial properties and residential that I rent out. Yep.
Can you be a little bit more specific? Like
Apartments.
What's your commercial?
I have a commercial building that I rent out, and I have some rental apartments that I rent out.
What's the use of the commercial?
The use of the commercial is industrial.
It's industrial?
Industrial zoning, yep.
Who's your tenant?
My tenant right now is actually a GMC dealer from New Jersey. That's who my tenant is right now.
Interesting.
Yep.
And that was what? That's where you had where your dad and your family had the used car lot?
We had a family business there years ago. Yep. Sure did.
The irony, right? So you start off there selling cars, and then you lease it to somebody else for them to sell cars.
That's what we did. Yep.
Cash flow, right?
Cash flow.
Let somebody else worry about the sleazy used car salesman mantra, but they pay you rent for that.
Pay me rent for that. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So.
You got a mortgage on that property?
No mortgage on the property. So.
Pure equity, preserving capital and increasing wealth.
100%. And there's two ways you can go with that. You can have a mortgage on it or not have a mortgage on it. So
you could, but you always have it there as a backup in case you find another deal. You could use it.
Right.
You can cross collateralize.
That's a piggy bank. If you need it, you can go and pull out of it or put back into it, whatever you want to do. So that's how I see it. Some investors want to be 80% leverage or 60% leverage on everything that they own. I buy and hold most of my stuff. I have also transacted about 10 pieces of dirt that I purchased years ago when the market crashed. That wasn't a buy and hold for me. Mm-hmm. But you
did hold them for a few years though, right?
I did hold those for probably about 8 or 10 years. Yeah. So
that's a buy and hold.
That was a buy and hold. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. You sold it when the time was right.
Yeah, right, but the whole strategy was to move them when the market turned, and it turned, and they all got moved.
It was a great opportunity to buy in 2009, 10, 11, 12.
Right. I don't believe we'll ever see that time again.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't. And that's also because of private equity.
I mean, we also don't have a crystal ball, so we have to be ready.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
We have to be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready always.
So you and I both live the single dad life, but you've been doing it significantly longer than I have. Man, between your business, between your real estate holdings, between your tenants and your single dad life, how difficult is it or how easy is it to maintain some sort of balance in your mind?
It's extremely difficult. Some days are easier than others. You have a lot to do.
You're also a coach, right?
Coach, a volunteer. I try to stay 100% involved in my daughter's life. You know, that's how I see it. I see that I'm 100% involved in her life. She may only be with me 50% of the time, but I'm with her 100% of the time. So I was able to tailor my life to make that happen. And not everybody can do that. I was able to do it. Is every day easy? No. Do I have days where I want to lock myself in my room and crawl under my bed? Sure. Everybody does. But you got to just keep moving and go on.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's not going to be one problem, there's going to be another problem. So you got to kind of take it all in stride.
Yeah, the choice of not being present just really isn't a choice.
Right. Would I go back and do things differently? No. Because this was the path that it took me down.
Sure. How old is she now?
14.
14. And Lincoln just turned 5. So I'm going on 4 years. And the January will go 4 years, and you're going on 12 years.
11.
You've been, dude. You've been a lot of help to me. You've given me a lot of guidance, and you know.
Hey, we try.
A shoulder to lean on,
Likewise,
man.
you've been a big help to me too. It's just, you know, you got to have someone to lean on too, especially when you have those moments where you just have no idea what's going on and everything's kind of, you know, upside down in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has those moments. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You feel lonely, especially if you're successful, you're going to feel the most lonely you've ever felt.
Mm-hmm.
Because those close to you are extremely jealous of you no matter what you do. No matter what.
That's how it's been personally to you, right?
Yes, and I believe it's been like that for everybody. So
Yeah.
those
I've experienced it.
Yeah, those close to you want you to do well, but as soon as you're doing better than them, they're out of your corner. They're talking behind your back. They don't like it when you're doing better than them.
Yeah. It's a tough situation, man. It is for anybody.
Yep.
So with all of this, you know, that we've been discussing, what would be maybe the top piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Start earlier.
Right?
Start everything earlier. Start a family earlier. Get married earlier. Have kids earlier. Start a business earlier. Do everything earlier. Pick one thing that you know you'll like and love and just go after it and don't stop. Become the best at one thing. You might be able to get distracted by a million things, but pick one thing, go after it, and have a well-grounded life. Surround yourself with good people. That was kind of 4 or 5 things, but still.
Yeah, no, that's all great.
But still.
And somewhere in the midst of that, we have to preserve our capital and increase our wealth, right? And hopefully
100%.
through the ownership and exchange of multi-tenant income
Yeah,
producing properties,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. I'm
So
under
then-
contract right now on another commercial property.
So if we were buying or selling,
I'm buying.
buying. So if we if I had started in commercial real estate when I was 20 years old,
No kidding.
mm-hmm,
No kidding.
it'd be a totally different conversation.
Even if you were at
this
the
moment.
bottom.
Yeah, of
Even
course.
if you were just at the bottom pushing a pencil for somebody else. That would have
Exactly, getting the exposure.
a broom.
That's it. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. A management company pushing a broom for a GC. It doesn't matter. That's anywhere starting anywhere in.
That's great.
that
Yeah,
field.
it gives you decades to build up that wealth that will ultimately continue building into generational wealth for your kids, your kids' kids, your kids' kids' kids.
100%.
You know, but yourself as well, so you can truly enjoy your life after the age of 40, 45. You know?
My business is great, and I love my business. Real estate is also great, and I love that too. So I will never stop investing in real estate. It's always going to be a thing for me.
Yeah.
Or
it's
looking
very-
for the next deal. I'm
it's very
always looking
important.
for the next deal. I haven't landed on any deals. I'm under contract right now on a deal. Hopefully that goes through. See how that goes. But, you know,
There's always something.
There's always something.
There's a saying in Spanish, el que busca encuentra. So
You gotta be patient.
Whoever's looking for it will find it.
yeah, you got to be patient, and those things come around.
It does.
Yes.
It does come around.
Knocking on doors. Knocking on doors. And, for example, the contract for the property that I'm under contract for right now is just a door I've been knocking on for years.
That's usually how it happens. And I have I have investors that I've been calling on for over 10 years.
Yeah.
We have relationships, but we haven't transacted on anything. And that's just how it goes.
You've gotten the call
Mm-hmm.
before. I'm ready.
It happens. Happens all the time.
Right.
But not if you haven't been building a relationship. You know?
And
It's
staying
all
on
about-
a
and follow.
and staying on a level.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to get distracted now with social media by all these programs that people want to put you through with this, become a wholesaler, do this, do that,
Mm-hmm.
one shot kill transactions. It's just not the way it works.
It's
I'm
not.
sorry, that's not for
Yeah.
me. Like, you got to build it up.
Yeah. I've
You
been to
know.
a couple of those seminars and events, and it's like, what? No, that's not how it works.
Build it up, have a relationship, and,
That's it.
the deals will come your way.
All right, man. So we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Always
Appreciate
a pleasure
it.
hanging out, man.
Anytime.
Thank you very much for the attention.
Look forward to it again.
I appreciate all the information. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Preserving Capital and Increasing Wealth. Please visit our website, lincolncommercialgroup.com. Please follow us on all social media platforms. This is your host, William Cabrera, saying goodbye. God bless. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your day. All the best wishes in the world.